So I've cut out all of the bad habits in terms of, say, things like video games, entertainment, and such. And maybe you've been dialing down on being able to cut out bad habits as well, because everyone in the world is pretty much telling you that you should and shouldn't be doing certain things. But now what? Because it's very easy to, or at least it's easy to say, okay, I need to take things away. I'm doing these wrong things. But if you don't fill it up with stuff as well, then you're only going to revert back to it. And this was the case for me, because I tried to go cold turkey on a lot of things. And the biggest difficulty was that I would, for example, let's say I spent, I don't know, a couple hours a day playing video games or watching whatever sort of entertainment. If I didn't fill up that time with something else, give it a couple days, and then I'm just sort of sat there like, well, what else should I do with this time? Right? What else is there to do other than to do the thing that I was always doing? And I'm going to share with you the sort of routine that I've sort of been getting into in order to stop that. So, for context, I mean, I've been sort of off video games probably for the last sort of couple months, right? And it used to be a lot worse, but I just decided that I just want to lock in and I just want to sort of go and do that. Now, I removed that. What did I replace it with? What I replaced it with is actually starting to learn how to make video games. And I'm doing that all through ChatGPT, primarily. There's a lot of stuff I need to still do, but I'm able to get ChatGPT to do all the code and stuff. But there's a lot of debug and work and errors that can still pop up. But the point being is, I've gone from a place where I was consuming to now creating. And honestly speaking, like I'm sure a lot of other guys can agree with me that do play video games. I enjoy playing video games. It's great, great fun. And I like games that challenge me and sort of that are difficult, because obviously it's that feeling of, being able to achieve those things and work toward those things. And so I thought, well, if I can make my own game, based on games that I like playing, then maybe that's something that could become a new avenue for me. And typically speaking, I aim to spend maybe a couple hours, more towards the evening, ideally speaking, but somewhere in the day where I can work on building these games. And that is something which I've sort of been getting into a routine of. I don't try and, force myself to do X amount of hours or X amount of things in a week. I just say, hey, look, if I want to try and build this thing, I want to try and do that. And so it was almost like trying to become obsessed and trying to replace those bad habits and almost try and build stuff comes from identifying what it is, or at least for me, it was identifying what it is that I'm doing, which I know isn't really benefiting my future or the person I want to become. Not the person other people tell me I should be, but the person I want to become, and then just going from there. And a similar thing has been with, say, consuming content, right? I would often consume, quite a bit, maybe like a couple hours or so a day of whatever entertaining media there was. Maybe it was on YouTube, maybe it was watching anime, and it's like, okay, that's something, and maybe that's normal and that's okay. But I thought, right, well, what else can I be doing with this time? And when I asked the sort of questions about, well, what are the stuff that I want to work on? What of and if I had all the money in the world, but I still had to work 4 to 5 hours a day, what would I want to spend that time on, right? Like in terms of working on. And one of the things was, well, I want to be able to talk about sort of what I'm dealing with at the moment, the thing that I'm going through, the problem that I've solved myself. And I want to be able to sort of talk and connect with other guys who perhaps are in similar situations, or be able to at least, whether I can give them a step forward, whether I can at least connect with them or relate with, you on a somewhat level. Like that's the stuff I was interested in. I was like, well, why can't I take steps towards that? And initially it was like, right, well, let's just record one long form video a week. And that was cool. And I was scheduling that. But now I'm in a stage where I'm recording 1 to 2 long form videos a day and getting that scheduled as well, because I'm really just like, I mean, this is the sort of stuff like I enjoy doing. I enjoy creating content, I enjoy being able to speak my thoughts and if any of it can resonate with someone, the right person, the right time sort of thing, then that would be awesome. And now that I realize this is the stuff I want to do, that makes a huge difference. And I'm sort of in a state where, don't get me wrong, right? Like, I'm not now immune to playing video games or, watching other entertainment stuff, right? And in the future, I might well go and do that at some point. But I think now, at the moment, I'm just focused on trying to be obsessed with the thing that I want to be obsessed with, right? Try and build on the thing that I want to build. And if at the moment, which it is building on this YouTube channel, building on the input reset and trying to help guys or at least connect with guys who perhaps can relate with sort of these sort of issues at the moment in terms of, the world, dopamine and those sort of inputs. That's awesome. If I can build video games and release video games out, say, for example, on Steam or something like that, and other people can play it and other people can enjoy it and enjoy the same experience and thrill that I got from playing games, then awesome, right? But I think that's the main thing. Like, I think um, what I want you to know is, like, if you are looking to build stuff that you think are meaningful to you, then I think it first comes from just having some level of obsession with it. And I talked about it in a previous video, but I think having and being obsessed with something is more so about taking your attention back from where you're putting it, right? So for me, it was I was putting my attention to video games, like putting my attention into whatever media or like entertainment sort of video stuff or whatever it was that I was doing. And taking it back then means, well, I've now got more attention, more energy, more time. What can I now do with it? And so it's like if I can now spend that time on things that are meaningful to me or work on projects, then that's fine. And it doesn't need to be this crazy thing, right? For the game development stuff, I may be spending a couple hours a day. And for the input reset stuff and recording these videos, I'm maybe spending a couple hours a day, or it doesn't even have to be that, could be a couple hours a week. But the greatest feeling that I've been getting is the feeling that I am moving towards the person I want to be. Moving towards the person I want to be, building on the things I want to build so that in the future I can look back and be more grateful for what it is that I'm doing. So if you're looking to try and just become more obsessed with something, actually have something which you look forward to doing, take your attention back, figure out what it is that you want to do, which for me was literally asking the question of, if I had all the money in the world, but I still had to work 4 to 5 hours a day, what would I do? Ask yourself those questions. Figure out what it is that you genuinely are passionate about, right? It could literally be you just want to talk about whatever topics that you enjoy talking about on YouTube. Do that. Record the content. Do it. But don't just sort of sit there and expect that life is going to fix itself out, right? Because there is the tempting feeling of just to sit there and assume that life is going to figure itself out or you're waiting for life to start. But yeah, keep that stuff in mind. And yeah, obsession's really important. And so I think just take your attention back, focus on, and well, ask yourself that question in terms of what you would do if you had all the money in the world or if money weren't a thing, and go and do that because I think you're going to really, really enjoy it. And don't worry about what other people say or their opinions of you because at the end of the day, you need to have full confidence that what you're doing is the thing you want to do. And that to me is all that matters.